Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.
1FM 91.3. It's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. And once again, in the studio, it's going to be a regular feature. We are very, very honored to have Adrian Chu from Career Agility International once again. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, FD.
Morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Our 1FM fans love you, man.
Yeah, they absolutely love you.
Oh, really?
They
Thanks a lot.
absolutely
Love
you.
them too.
This morning we were talking about money. In the UK, they did a study. For the average man in the UK to be happy, he needs an extra £508 a month. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I wonder if Singaporeans actually are earning enough money to make them happy.
Obviously not, with the way they're complaining.
They seem
like
to
what,
be complaining.
what Jack Neo says, right? Money no enough, right?
Yeah.
So it's a perennial issue, and I think what we always get our clients coming to us is say, how do we make more money? How do we get more money? But a lot of times we talk to them and we ask them, it's not just about the quantum, because sometimes we get clients coming to us and saying things like, I wish I was paid more. But when you ask them and talk to them a little bit deeper, you find out that they are unhappy not because they're not paid enough, but sometimes it's because they are handling two people's job, or even 3 jobs at a go, and they're only being paid 1 salary.
Like my daughter,
Yeah.
who basically handles the work of 4 people.
Yes, correct. So sometimes the unhappiness with money comes not just from the quantum itself, but they are doing too much, and it's not fair.
Generally in Singapore, though, are people paid enough?
Well, I think they're paid market rates. I think it's fine. I think the taxes are low. That's a huge benefit. That's why one of the reasons why a lot of foreigners like to come to Singapore, because they get a huge discount off the taxes straight away. Yeah. So, but the nice thing about in Singapore is that because the job market is buoyant, and a lot of people would disagree with me, but there are jobs out there, and because the job market is buoyant, there are always opportunities to pivot out into other roles that pay a bit more. So it's not like stagnant. If you are a cook, you'll always be a cook. There are opportunities upwards to be a chef or something like that. So I would say that there are upward opportunities. So that augurs well for the economy, actually.
Right. But why are Singaporeans then... Okay.
Because no one is satisfied. No one is ever satisfied.
I have a belief that 80% of our population is living beyond their means.
I'm inclined to agree with you. And if
Population of the earth, or what?
No, Singapore.
I think Singaporeans,
Because
yeah.
I want the condominium, I want the country club membership, I want the fancy European
isn't
car.
that everyone?
And I want it now, right?
And I want it
And
now.
I want it now, right?
Whether
Yeah.
I can afford it or not.
Yeah, and then there's credit card if you can't, right?
Yes.
So it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes, we see that. But it's if you ask me, I would say about 80% of Singaporeans are not happy with their salaries, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I was just watching a video clip this morning from one of my favorite movies, Wall Street.
Yeah.
Gordon Gekko. Remember what he was saying?
Wall Street.
Greed is good, right? So
Greed is good,
it's
yeah.
a terrible thing to say, but yeah, I mean, it drives you to want to have more money, better job, better things you can buy for your family.
Yeah.
So to our question this morning, is does money make you happiness? Does money buy you happiness? The answer is yes, it does.
It does, right?
And then if anyone says no, but you know where to wire your money to.
Yes. Either Adrian Chu or Glenn Ong.
Hey, don't forget me. Don't forget me.
No, you don't like money.
Hey.
This guy's a multi-millionaire.
Hey,
I mean,
stop
nothing
it.
wrong with that.
Stop
Multi-millionaire.
it. Nonsense.
But he's living in a 2-room flat.
I'm not living in a 2-room flat.
Then?
It's terrible. It's a 4-room flat.
4-room flat. There you go. Sorry, my mistake. We are talking to Adrian Chu. Adrian, very, very quickly, for the people who are tuning in and listening to you for the first time, because it's the second time Adrian is coming to the studio, tell everyone what you do.
Well, I'm the career strategist, and I run my own business. We have a team of career strategists as well. The company is called Career Agility International, and we help professionals and executives to find more meaning in their careers and to ensure that they have career longevity and sustainability. And we just help them with their career strategy. So rather than helping them to find jobs, we make sure that if you're at a career crossroad, you don't do anything silly. Okay. If you want to accelerate your career, then come to us. We'll talk to you how you can accelerate your career. Or if you're just looking for a job, what are the best ways to look for a job that won't get you, that will get you the nice roles.
Right. If you want to get in touch with Adrian, you can do so by getting in touch with him at adrian@careeragility.org. Okay, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, more from Adrian Chu right here on 1FM 91.3.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.
1FM 91.3, it's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman back with Adrian Chu from Career Agility International, helping our 1FM fans.
So, if money buys happiness, then the one thing people listening to us are then going to say is, so then the more money I make, the happier I'm going to be. So how do I then make more money? How do I get paid more?
That's a very good question.
As an employer, I would say just go out and be more damn productive.
Yeah, okay, sell more stuff, right?
This is a great topic for 2020, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the new year coming up, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the quickest ways to get paid more is and this is going to be politically incorrect, but leave your job and look for something else that's better paying. Because research has shown that people who stay in their job longer are not paid as much. Up to 80% of the people who have been in their companies more than 5 years are not up to market rates.
Okay.
Wow.
So loyalty doesn't help nowadays.
Because you hit a plateau, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. So as much as you're saying this is politically incorrect, you're saying that loyalty doesn't pay.
Yeah, because every year you get your 2% increment, 3% increment. But when you switch a job straight away, if you get a nice role, it's about 15 to 17% increment. So every year, even if you get a 2% increment and you ask your boss, can I have more? And they're going to say, oh, this is a tight year. We're going to have budget constraints. We didn't hit target and everything. And then the next thing you know, a month down the road, they parachute a foreigner in and on full expat package, and you see all the coins falling all over the place once the purse drops. It's companies are no longer loyal to individuals. So what we are seeing now, we're actually encouraging individuals to look outside. Don't just look within the opportunities within the organization, because it's an exciting world out there.
So that was what was happening in our previous company.
Yeah.
Remember, all the salespeople were leaving, and they would go and work for some other companies for about 2 years, and they would come back to our old company, and their pays would be double and stuff like that.
Yeah, so sometimes you got to.
And then they will leave again, and then come back and they get more money. And then the other salespeople will be coming up to us and complaining about us. And I say, how can that person get so much now? Right. Remember?
It's true.
When we were smokers at that time, and we were in the smoking area and talking to everybody. Yeah.
The other way is, besides leaving your company, is leaving the industry, because sometimes if you're in an industry that has tight margins, so you can't really help. So, for instance, one of my ex-clients, he was a CEO for a huge publishing company, Mark Allen. He was a CEO for John Wiley, and he was telling me, he said, if you ever want to make money, get out of publishing, because publishing is dying and it's the margins are narrow.
Okay.
So if you're in industry like retail, for instance, or one of those really narrow like construction types, then you must see how can I pivot out of this industry into another industry that could make more money. So if you're in HR, in retail, is there something I can do like HR in finance, or HR in technology or healthcare? So that's one way as well.
What about people who work for organizations that have more than one company under the umbrella? So you have one major company and say 7 or 8 companies under the umbrella. Would it be smart, when you say move companies, to move within the umbrella, or do I get out of that umbrella entirely?
Sometimes if you love the company, if you love the culture, then I think that's great. But not many companies have that kind of mobility internally. So my old company, when I was working in Shell, we used to have that a lot. But today, because of the global, the talent market is global. So you're not just competing for those roles in another division with your fellow Singaporeans. You're competing on a global market as well. So it could be difficult. It's a safe option, because it's a safer option to move internally. But I would say that if you are looking at a career move, consider both internal and external simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah, because you were saying depending on your industry, and you mentioned retail, and a lot of the retail groupings are one company, 7 brands under the one company. So I'm just wondering if it's better, if it's safer to move from brand to brand under that one umbrella.
But it's the same company, right?
But yeah, sometimes it's more exciting sometimes.
Yeah.
But your pay might just be stagnated because there's a certain pay scale.
Yeah,
that is
so
Don't
very
forget,
high.
we're talking about pay right now.
Yeah.
We're
That's what I'm
digressing
saying
a little bit.
I'm saying will it be a safer bet to get more money?
Yeah.
Moving under the same umbrella, or do I have to get out of the umbrella?
Okay, good question. But you mentioned, because we're going to talk about 3 ways, right? You can get a pay rise this year. Okay, so you mentioned one already just now, which is jump ship, right?
Jump ship, yeah.
Okay, jump ship. I tell you what, let's take a break. When we come back, Adrian will tell us about the other 2 ways that you can get a pay rise this year.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.
1FM 91.3, it's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Andre and Sean are here as well, just in case you think they have left the building. Guys!
Yes!
Okay, if you got any questions for Adrian, you can also bring them up, okay? But right now, Adrian's got, 2 more ways to teach us that we can get a pay rise this year. Adrian Chu, of course, from Career Agility International. If you want to get in touch with him, you can either get in touch with the people at Career Agility International at careeragility.org, or you can get in touch with Adrian at careeragility.org.
So, 3 ways to increase the money you earn. First one was to jump ship. What else can we do?
Well, I think if you really love your company and you love your job still, have an adult conversation with your boss. Just let him know I've been here for 5 years or 6 years, and the past 3 years, 4 years, the increment has only been like 1-2%. Is there any way we can move it up? And it's not just about, hey, boss, pay me more. Sometimes it's about, is there anything else I can do? Can I expand my work scope? Can I take on these 2 other portfolios, which is enhanced? Therefore, can I get a promotion out of it? And just have a conversation with your boss. Give them a chance to make you an offer. Before you actually jump ship as well. But without the threat of, if you don't give me my uptake in salary, I'm going to leave. So don't do that.
That's disrespectful.
Have an adult conversation.
Yeah.
And sometimes he can do it. Sometimes, if he's planning to hire someone else, another person, for a role, and you say, hey, actually, I could do that as well, and maybe I'm ready for it. Maybe he thinks you're not ready. Maybe because you've not put your hand up to say, I want a promotion or I want something bigger.
Yeah.
So have an adult conversation with your boss and see what the options are internally, perhaps.
Right.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's 2. What's the final one?
The final one is if you really are not in a place where you can leave jump ship because maybe your skills are out of date, or if you're in an industry that's in decline, or if you look around and your boss tells you, no, seriously, there's nothing available here, you can't do much. What you need to do is you got to figure out how to have a career strategy to exit, which means you might have to take how should I say it? Upgrade your skills. You got to figure out what your gaps are, where you want to be, and just upskill and upgrade yourself. Because the reality is maybe the truth of why you're not being paid as much as you want to is because you're not good enough. So
it's retraining.
It's retraining, reskilling, and having that career strategy. Because sometimes you can't make the jump immediately. It might take 3 months. It might take 6 months. It might take 2 years for you to make that jump. So have that strategy with regards to, I think in order to make that salary leap, I may need to exit the industry. And then if that's the case, what industry do I want to go into? What's growing? What's sustainable? And then how do I get there? Who do I have to network with to find out more? Who do I have to network with to hire me? And in terms of what are the skills I need? How do I get those skills? Do I pick it up from an online course, or do I learn it via some volunteer work, or you do on the outside? Like, say for instance, if you want to do HR but no one's going to give you a chance to do HR, then maybe you volunteer at some organizations, some welfare organizations for projects like that, and just to pick up the skills and go for training. So one of the realities is sometimes the reason for salary stagnation is just because you are stagnant. And you have to move. And as I always say, we Singaporeans have to stop being complacent and start saying, okay, where are the areas I can improve? And because at the end of the day, your company is paying you for the value you create. And the day you stop creating additional value, more value than what you're being paid for, the company is going to think, why are we even having him here? Why is he asking for a 20% increase when his sales has only gone up by 5% in the past 5 years? So you have to answer those tough questions before making the next move. Right.
Do companies these days, or is it just wishful thinking, do companies these days actually plan career progression for their staff?
If you're in the top 5%, yeah, they do. If you're hypo, as they call it, high potentials, they do. But by and large, what we go to market, we tell people is don't count on it. Even if you're the top 5%, don't count on it. You have to plan your own career. And that's one of the huge paradigm shifts. Because in my earlier job, when I was in Shell was my first job, and they took care of us.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. But today, the environment has changed. Turnover is high, budgets are tight. They can't really invest in your career that much anymore. Yeah. So you have to take charge of your own career and have that agility.
Yeah. Ask for what you want. You know,
Yeah.
you need to, as you mentioned, right, have
Yeah.
an adult conversation with your boss.
Yeah.
Not many people do that.
Yeah.
You know,
and-
my entire career, I asked for everything.
Yeah, do you get it?
know,
Most of it.
80%
Most of it, right?
Yeah, you got most of
and you
it.
don't ask, you don't know, right?
Yeah, nobody else asked.
Yeah,
but
correct.
I would always ask. I would always
Yeah.
sit down with my boss and
Yeah.
and have a talk with him.
Yeah, don't ask,
You know.
you won't get. See, so what you always do. So
Yeah.
so even if you're applying for a new job and at the salary interview, salary negotiation phase, what we tell our clients is when they ask us how much should we be asking for, they say ask for as much as you want. You know, you don't ask, you don't know, you won't get.
Yeah.
So don't be shy about it, but don't be disrespectful. And be reasonable.
But it was not always about money. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
about more the next career move.
Yeah, correct.
You know
And
what I mean?
sometimes even being paid a bit more by your boss or by your company, it's not about
Yeah.
the salary bit. It's about the
Yeah.
recognition, the
Correct.
acknowledgement, job well done, and it's a lot more than apart
Yeah.
from the money.
Because sometimes people just need a new challenge, you know,
Yeah.
in order to rekindle that passion.
Correct. Or even a pat on the back, right? And,
Yeah.
and what's the best way to show your pat on your back by giving you more money?
Yeah.
So
You're right. So I tell my bosses, just a peck on my cheek.
You tell that only to your lady
HR.
Oh,
bosses.
no, I mean my lady bosses. Yes. But these days, of course, they can't do that anymore.
But the other, this is a personal question I have from you. I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong. When I hire someone, I always ask them the same question. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Is that right or wrong?
I think it's a fair question. And a lot of times people answer that question from, I want to be this position, I want to be that position, I want to be your boss, kind of thing. But the correct answer would be not in terms of job titles, but maybe you could answer in terms of jobs, in terms of skill sets. You know, in 5 years' time, I want to be able to manage a team of 6, or I want to have a regional responsibility, or I want to be able to understand how to manage the major clients better. So frame it, if you're asked that question, frame it within the context of skill sets. So it's less threatening to the person who's interviewing you, and it shows that you really want to create value for the organization and you want to develop yourself as well.
Listen, people,
that's
listen.
key.
Listen, that was a
You
very
know,
good answer.
You
I love
want,
that.
you also need to make sure that your company benefits as well. You
That's
know,
right.
you need to make money for your company.
Yeah, it's Donald Trump says quid pro quo, right?
Well, thank you very much, Adrian, for coming in again. We look forward to talking to you again next week.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. Adrian Chu, once again, from Career Agility International. You can get in touch with him at adrian@careeragility.org. Thank you, Adrian.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. Good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.